Hey everybody, it's Dr. Juanita Mercer here, and oh my goodness, it's been several days since you've seen me, since I've done any videos, lives, all of that. Because I have been sick. Your girl had COVID. After what, 2.5 years, escaping COVID, literally coming back from China. It caught up to me. This is even after surviving like everyone in my house having it. It caught up to me. It did. It has been rough. I just want to take a few minutes to kind of talk about what it was like. I think like in this environment, what I've kind of observed is that people have completely like dismissed COVID. It's like they're over it. They don't want to talk about it. It's really not happening. It's not really a big deal. Um, my experience was really interesting. Interesting enough that I really do want to talk about it because I think there still needs to be some awareness as to what COVID is like. Honestly, after what I went through, I never want to have COVID again. And it's just like, of course, you don't want to have flu again or anything like that, but it's so disruptive to your life in addition to being sick. So, you're probably gonna hear me clearing my throat and all that stuff because even though I'm feeling a lot better, I'm still having some lingering symptoms. And this is after what? Let's see. I'm pretty sure I was exposed last Sunday. And then like Monday night, no, it's more like Tuesday night. That's when the chills started and the muscle aches. So, gosh, I don't even know what today is. What, Friday? So that's like already a week plus what was it, Thursday? Like, okay. So like 10 days or something like that. And I'm gonna talk to you more about like well, I have no idea what day it is because I have been dealing with a lot of brain fog, y'all. So let me tell you, my symptoms are pretty mild as they go with COVID. I experienced the body aches. I had a really bad headache. I think like Tuesday night or Wednesday. Um, the muscle aches and body aches lasted about 2 days or so. Because that morning I was on the phone with my doctor. Went to go get a COVID and flu test to have those confirmed. Um, which it did come back positive. My one I took here at home was inconclusive. Now, let me be honest about that. Now looking back, I think it was positive. But what was different for me is that I have been taking different at home COVID tests, like pretty much weekly, bi weekly, or being in environments where being very close to people, try to stay on top of that. And I had switched tests, right? And so I was used to doing like the one before, and then this one I really wasn't used to. And I think the time before that, I had done it wrong, to be quite honest. And I didn't realize that until I did it right. And then I thought it was inconclusive, but it really wasn't. That blue line was still kind of there, but there was also a pink line. So it said if there's blue and pink, it's inconclusive. But I'm thinking it just didn't do a good job of fading away. So you know what? We have these at home tests, y'all, but take them with a grain of salt. Like, go make an appointment, with CVS. It's free, it's easy to do, and go get a COVID test from someone else. I just feel like, especially when you're sick, and I was already feeling so bad, by the time I did that at home one. Um, you're going based on like flawed stuff. Like, don't put yourself in a position to be the only one to tell you if you have COVID. Don't do that. Don't do that. go and get a test done at CVS. So I did that and it came back positive. Um, which kind of already, had just had a sinus infection like 4 weeks ago, a little a month and a half ago. So I was just like, am I having another sinus infection? Because I had been outside without a mask, which is a big no-no because I'm allergic to everything. Um, so I was thinking it was that, but then I was just like, gosh, I am kind of feeling a little off. Like this doesn't feel like a regular sinus infection. And so, long story short, okay, so I had it, and then like after the day two, the cough, that violent, horrible cough started. I mean, I thought my chest was going to explode. I was just like, I'm one cough away from dying. Like that's how I felt. Like one cough away, and thank God I have a wonderful doctor. Um, he prescribed me promethazine. Shout out to the manufacturers. Like, kudos to y'all. Like, you know, there are a lot of medications out there that may or may not work. And of course, I'm not vouching for this one medication. I'm just saying it was my godsend. It was my blessing because if I hadn't had that medication, your girl wouldn't be here. I'm just saying, like, my chest was on fire. It was like I needed to rest. I wasn't resting because I was coughing all the time and it was so violent. But when I got that medication, it just, almost immediately, it helped me to help my body recover from all the violent coughing and then to rest, which is what I really needed. And then I really needed all of that rest because then that spit and that started. Oh my gosh, that horrible bronchitis. I have really bad bronchitis still. Dealing with some phlegm and stuff. So, oh my gosh. But in the midst of this, with the steroid and everything that my doctor had given me, I felt strong in my body the first few days. But it was weird because I still felt like someone was holding me up. And that is the most awkward feeling in the world, is to be walking around and feeling like you're being held up because you know it's not in your own strength. So, then as I stopped taking the steroid when I was done with that. Then my body kind of like starts settling into the weakness. And so I was weak again for several days. Like even up to yesterday, I was very, very weak. And this is even after like a few days ago, sharing the gospel, with my sisters in China. And so I said, God, you give me a voice, I'm going to do it. I did it from my chair. But I literally was sweating through my clothes. I thought I was going to pass out at one time, but I did it. And it was a blessing. And I'm so glad I did it. But I felt better that day than I did yesterday. Isn't that crazy? So this is so up and down. And, as I talked to people, it was kind of like, oh, you'll feel better in 5 days. It was kind of like, so kind of lackadaisical sometimes, the response. And I was just like, is this really where we're at? That we think like 6.35 million people have died. And we're like, hey, 5 days, you'll be better. Actually, it's been, what, 10 plus days, and I'm still recovering. So, let's not be so lax about it, because you never know if you're going to be the long hauler. You never know if you're going to be the one that has to go to the hospital. Because let me tell you, if I hadn't had that medication, I probably would have ended up at the hospital because I wouldn't have had the strength to cough up. I wouldn't have gotten the rest I needed. My oxygen level had gotten below 90 at one point. So, just your body recovering from all of that. Actually, yeah, it was like 88 at one point. Oh, gosh. Much better now. Back up to like 98 and all of that. But, let's not be so laxed about it, you know? Um, people is a really personal thing, and I know people want to encourage and kind of make light of situations as if it makes it better. But when someone says they have COVID, pray for them and pray that God has mercy, because you don't know what that road is going to be like for them. You just don't. You don't know about people's health. Y'all don't know about my health. You don't know about the struggles that I have and the things that I'm dealing with. Um, that could be exasperated, by COVID. And so I'm just saying, like, we don't know. And so I think we just need to be a little bit more sensitive to that moving forward. But thank you for those who reach out and pray for me. You could be anointed and get COVID. You can have faith and rebuke COVID and still get COVID. You can you could pray it away and still get COVID. Because it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. You know, and so it's not a faith thing. It's not a you don't believe thing. I had faith. I believed, and I still got it because God had a purpose in it. I needed to be sat down, for these 10 plus days and be still and to listen and to not get myself involved in things I probably would have gotten myself involved with. And if that meant I needed to get COVID in order to be safe in the will of God, so be it. I have to recognize that. But, it is what it is. And so, yeah, y'all, I had COVID. Um, had COVID, have COVID, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are with that. But yeah, it'll probably still be a few more days before I actually get out because there's still flu and things going around, and I want to make sure that my immune system is, kind of built back up to fight everything that's still out here. But I'm here. I'm smiling. My brain fog is a lot better. Yesterday, I did not feel like myself. I haven't felt like myself for many days. I have brain fog, and I felt like my mood had been depressed as well. With COVID, I experienced a lot of like psychological type things, and so I just want to say rest, y'all, and and when you get COVID, because I think now it's probably a matter of when, not if. Rest well. Um, don't push yourself. Your body needs that rest to be able to recover. So please take the time to do that. My kind of bedside, I'm going to share my bedside COVID kit with you. Of course, I had my Kleenexes here. I also had, this is from Bath and Body Works, some aromatherapy to spray my pillows with to help me relax and at night, get a good night's sleep. Of course, I have my prescription medications. I had these as well because, you're so weak. Let's be real. Taking care of yourself is asking a lot, okay? So showering is not happening every day, but I had body wipes. I thought I had them near me. I had body wipes. I had my facial wipes as well. I had a mask, to get some good sleep during the day. Thermometer. My ibuprofen, because I don't know about y'all, but with the COVID headache, Tylenol just doesn't do it for me. Ibuprofen really takes care of it. I had my inhaler because my doctor prescribed me an inhaler to help keep my chest open, which is awesome. I really did need that. And then I had all my allergy medications because, like I said, I have horrible allergies, and right now with everything in the air, having my nasal spray and my pill and all this other stuff. So I've never been on so many medications at one time in my life. And then I also had, my vitamins, like my vitamin D, my zinc, manganese as well, vitamin C. So, you know, you need all that. And you also need something close to put all your little spit up tissues in as well. I know it's gross, but hey. Also, sanitizer, Clorox wipes, and like sanitation wipes because I'm cleaning stuff like somebody else got COVID. That's how I was cleaning. And then also having like a KN95 or N95 mask nearby so that as people come in or near you that you can protect them. So just don't leave it on other people. Make sure you have a mask as well to protect them. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I just really wanted to share that with y'all. Yeah. One other thing. So, you know, I'm now, a business owner, and, the difference now is that when I get sick, everything stops. The president is sick, the marketing director is sick, the accounts payable and receivables is sick, the PR person is sick, your administrative secretary is sick. You're all sick, and you're all getting on each other's nerves, right? Because you're just like, don't you feel like doing this? And you're like, no, I don't feel like doing that. Won't you do it? Like, no, I don't feel like doing it. So it's like, yeah. You're having all these meetings with yourself and no one wants to do anything because no one feels like doing it. Okay, sorry. I know. This is weird humor, but that's just how I am. But, so when I was having all this time to think about things, this is what really needs to be in place. And I'm trying to get this in place as soon as possible. But for those of you who are entrepreneurs or you're contractors, you really need to have a plan in place for when you're sick. Because unlike when you have a job, you call them, hey, can't come, here's my doctor note, quarantine, blah, blah, blah. You don't have anyone to call. And thank God I didn't have any like contracts at the time or engagements. I did have the one speaking engagement, and I'll talk about that in a minute, that I was able to do, was through Zoom anyway. But so let's talk about this. Here's some tips. Number one, give someone access to your social media accounts and your email for your business. You have to have someone you trust who's available and skillful. You need all three. Okay? Again, someone you trust, someone who's available and, willing to do it, and someone who's skillful. And what do I mean by skillful? Like someone who knows how to operate social media, someone who knows how to give the type of responses that, professional responses, caring responses to people, right? So, definitely find that person. Thank God I have that person now. I'm so excited. Thank you, Lord. It's my little sister. I'm so thankful. Thank you. Who's that person? Also share your calendar and upcoming plans with that person as well. So like, me, I'm really trying to get in the habit of having like a monthly calendar, a plan of like what I'm going to be doing that month, what kind of series will I be doing. I try to do some type of web series every month, giving tips, but also like what topics will I cover, as I'm trying to grow this thing out here. So share that with someone so that as they're posting or making social media posts for you or responding to people via email, that they know and what's going on. Also, don't commit prematurely. Like I said, people are like, oh, you'll be back in 5 days. You'll feel better in 5 days. And I'm like, well, it's day 10. It's day 11. And, here we are. Not really feeling like dressing all the way up and going out and like handling business out here in these streets. So, you know, don't commit prematurely. Um, like I had people reaching out to me saying like, "Are you available Sunday to do this and do that?" I'm like, no, because one, I have to think about quarantine. I have to think about, and this would require me to remove my mask. Am I ready to do that? Am I ready to do that physically? Like where I want still be, um, what's the word? Transmissible or oh gosh, I can't think of the word right now. Contagious. Yeah, I think that's a better word. But am I also ready to do it emotionally? You know, am I ready to be that vulnerable um, next to someone else after this almost 2 week bout with COVID? Right? You have to be realistic. So don't commit prematurely to getting back out, but just be open and transparent and say, let's revisit this in a few days, okay, and go from there. Also, have the technology to meet people online. That is so important. And, meeting online and stuff is not going anywhere. I thank God that my commitment that I already had was via Zoom. But then I was like, well, what if I had like some type of speaking engagement or something? Like, what would I have done? And hopefully, I would have been able to work out a plan B. Maybe I was strong enough to do like a live feed or something, but you need the technology to be able to do that. It's one thing to say, oh, I could do this, but then if you don't have the technology to do that, so make sure you have like your own Zoom and team accounts. Make sure you have or aware and have the skills to do like a live or a broadcast or something like that. Okay. Also, you need to have the ability to do an HD video. Okay. And it could be just like this with a stand in your phone. But you need to be able to do a high definition video so that if you need to make a video or do some type of presentation, that you're still able to deliver that to your clients or whoever in a professional manner. So that you still maintain the integrity of working in excellence, even though you're grasping for straws here, being sick. So, um, also having the ability to edit is important because if you're in the middle of your high definition video and you start having a coughing fit or, need to take a drink of water, well, guess what? You can get to a point where you can pause, edit that out, and still have a nice quality video. And then, y'all, last but certainly not least, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. Um, let me tell you, I kind of got in this mindset. It took me a long time to get comfortable around people with the whole COVID pandemic. I'll be honest, it did. I finally worked up, to doing that, and then Sunday got a little bit more comfortable because I was preaching that Sunday, and wanted to be accessible. Well, you know, I got COVID. And I don't necessarily say it's like no one's fault. I mean, we're in a pandemic. But I definitely think that if I could go back, would I have done things a little differently to protect myself a little bit more and others? Because it's not just about me, but other people too. Yes, it's definitely yes. So, just be mindful of protecting yourself and others, whether in ministry, at work, whatever. COVID is here to stay, but I also think that because it's here to stay, we don't need to forsake our practices of keeping each other safe. People need to be able to get to work. People need to be able to provide for their families. People need to be well enough to make money, right? Because the truth is, when those people have come around you and maybe want you to take your mask off for a picture and all this, I didn't see any of those people around when I was sick. when I wasn't strong enough to shower, or bringing me food, or making sure I have my medication. It's the truth. So, you know, do only what's within your comfort level, but keep yourself safe, right? Wear your mask, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands um, often. Don't be afraid to ask people to take a COVID test before you interact with them. I think that just needs to be standard protocol now, you know, as the most responsible and loving thing to do. So, yeah, lessons learned, definitely. And we just take those lessons and we just try to do better moving forward, right? With this variant, it seems that people are getting sick again as in a little as 4 weeks, y'all. And so be careful. Be careful. I would hate to have to. I just, like I said, I was just sick with the sinus infection a few weeks ago. Now this, gosh, and then the flu is still out there. So, you know, we just all do the best we can to stay safe and stay busy doing what God has called us to do. Okay? But I love you all. Continue to pray for me, and I continue to pray for you. I love you all. And remember, in everything you do and with everything you have, love God and love people. Goodbye.